Oh, awesome.
Too raw for TV.
Hey,
That's hard.
appreciate that.
Oh, I have to. You have to invite me to chat. It says.
I got
Okay. It's fancy. That thing fancy.
you. Yeah,
Okay, there you go.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Late Lanier.
Lanier.
Going in the order on
Yeah,
Too Raw for
Too Raw for
TV.
TV, guys. I'm actually excited about tonight's talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we already was like, we're ready to go.
If you hear my voice, then you're part of the revolution. Welcome to the new world. I'm your host, the ratchet revolutionary Palmetto Star, but you can call me Prophet, a Redbeard. Hit me up on Instagram at Palmetto_star. On Twitter, hit me up on Twitter at Palmetto_star. We're going in tonight. And it's about drugs, sex, and ghosts. What's really possessing Atlanta? Now, they used to give the native Atlanteans spirits and take their land. Now these spirits are amongst us. Is it obsession or possession? What's controlling your day? So I have awesome people right here with me. You guys may recognize both of these people, but I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. Very enlightened beings right here. So
Hi, I'm Vanessa Boone. I'm a awesome singer and psychic, intuitive, spiritual advisor.
Oh, hey, peace, everybody. My name's Timothy Gibson L, and I am energetic practitioner, teacher and student of about 14 years plus, occultist, esoterist, metaphysics. And yeah, homegrown, born here in Atlanta.
All right. And we're here at the Temple of Mayat live for Too Raw for TV. You know you're not going to see this anywhere else. It's Too Raw for television, Too Raw for any social media. But we're going in on Instagram for a second, you guys. We're going in on Instagram. Drugs, sex, and ghosts. What's really possessing Atlanta? So we were talking about a couple of things behind the scenes. If you were tuned in on Instagram, you may have seen these behind the scenes clips of what we were talking about. So at first, I want Tim to introduce yourself, like let people know. You guys didn't let people know where they can find you on Instagram either.
Oh,
Hold on. But before we do that, okay, we're gonna do that. But I want them to know who you are, like just give a little like glimpse into who you are and what you do.
Okay. Well, let me get right on this thing right quick. I'm sorry. So
This is the main one you want to look into right here.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my name's Tim from Atlanta, and I was trained when I was 19 years old, trained in a energy modality of shamanistic tantra underneath the Grand Trine system of tantra and Master Yao Morris. And I got into this when I was around 19, and it opened my life and my eyes open to the awareness of just how healing our life force energy is and what all can be done in the beautiful things around it. So I've been practicing and worked on over 300 people. Always a student, always learning more, and I make a little bit of music. And the energy work that I do is based in balancing the polarity of the masculine and feminine energies. So we're known for giving people orgasms without touching them, and just feeling the passion of wanting to show people that there's more to how they can relate and what they can do with just their own selves is my passion, how I'm going about that. But you follow me at TIM_BO.slice at Instagram.com. Yeah.
All right.
That's an email.
Now you could get your Instagram and stuff.
and you can find me at Vantastic Vanessa with a V. So that's VANTASTIC Vanessa VANESSA.
Okay, absolutely. And so we're getting into a drug, sex, ghost, what's really possessing Atlanta. And as you guys know, as we talked about with the conscious cipher, there was a spell over Atlanta that they try to push over Atlanta. They always are trying to put out, especially when you have high density of melanated beings. They always try to misdirect, through the media. There's layers of it, through the media, the food, all of these different things, and they're aiming targeted right here at the Black Mecca and Black Hollywood, Black ass Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's always targeted right here. So, energy work, doing different things, getting us into our, you don't have to do a counter spell, all this other stuff like that, but just getting into your natural state, getting into your natural abilities, getting into your natural ways of empowerment are ways to counteract these sort of things. And energy work such as Tantra is us giving back, because sex is a form of creation. You can create babies like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows about that. But you could also create so many different realities. You could create every other reality using that same sort of energy, and that's what they want to disconnect us from. They want us to think about the carnal aspect of sexual energy, or focus more of that, and less of the Kundalini rising, more of the transformative aspect of sexual alchemy. So I was like wanting to talk to Tim about that. What's your thoughts on sexual alchemy? Using that sexual energy as a creative force.
But you hit some good points. So the sexual energy is the most powerful creative energy uh, that we have access to, and with awareness. And everything has been born through the. Okay, so I'll start like this. In the Western society, we have to understand sex at an elementary or almost a prehistoric level, right? We don't understand that sexual energy is our life force energy intellectually, but we do in the spirit, inside, naturally, right? It's something that we do naturally. What sex really is when two things come together to create something new. So there's a formula and there's a higher science to how that is integrated inside of the human body. So your organ field interacting with another person's organ field could be considered sex. You and another partner joining hands and creating a business could be considered sex. Oxygen bonding with hydrogen is considered sex. It's the force that allows things to create something new. So the whole story of like the mother and the father, that's just a basic allegory of the masculine and feminine, but they always produce a child that should be higher above them, stuff like that. So for us human beings, what we don't know during puberty, we just think that once the sexual energy hits our body, we just grow, bigger titties or a bigger penis.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that it's actually activating different gene switches, like a circuit board, in our bodies to exhibit higher levels of our spiritual energy and our ability to harness the masculine force and feminine. And what they're doing here in Atlanta is really, like you said, focusing on the Black people here, is because they went through the system of trying to isolate the Black woman in order to become a factory to bring in whatever reality they would like to birth. And the highest concentration of that is here in Atlanta. But even before it was Atlanta, there was an older Atlanta. There's certain temples and old buildings here, architecture that still harness a certain type of energy that allows them to interact with like the granite and the crystals and stuff in the earth, like Stone Mountain, Arabian Mountain, Panola Mountain, Kennesaw Mountain, in order to help resonate those frequencies. That's why the CDC is based here. That's why the CDC is,
I was just saying that Arabian Mountain is an asteroid.
They say that the Stone Mountain and those mountains are asteroids. It's billions of years old.
Yeah.
They can also be old buildings. We're just seeing like the tops of them. Like this land is real old and real ancient. And just like we're walking to a whole nother city.
Yeah.
That city
feels like it.
That city's built on other cities.
Hike up Arabian Mountain a lot, my kids, and this is an asteroid. We're looking at it, and those dimorpha grow there that don't grow anywhere else in the entire world.
That's crazy, right?
And their whole ecosystems.
I love Arabian Mountain, and they don't have any good information about. Which goes to the point about why it's called Arabian Mountain.
No.
But what's interesting about it, they do have the information about the monastery they have there.
Yeah.
Why choose that as the monastery?
Right.
Yeah, they think they're slaves.
Right.
They're like, we're gonna quietly steal y'all energy centers. Go ahead, all that free energy Nikola Tesla's been talking about. We're gonna quietly do it. That's the funny part.
They don't tell you the true concentration of the Stone Mountain. When you Google it, you have to like really research it because it's not what they say it is. Well, at least that's not what I found when I was researching it myself. Like I had to keep asking. What is that? Like it was vague, and then I finally got to it was like plutonium or something. It's like not granite, like it's part that, or like I'm like nah, because the way. For real? Listen,
if that's so, I know.
Don't get me the line. Don't quote me. Allegedly, uncensored raw. I don't know, but I was like really messing with that thing one night, trying to figure it out. On the dark web.
I was on a class, and shout out to See the Duketeers. I was in one of these classes, and he was going over how one of the final forms of plutonium is something called radium when it loses radioactiveness. And there were some springs down in southern Georgia called Radium Springs that people were used to take baths in to heal themselves. So if that's taken into the plant,
that would make sense. I'm telling you,
it would.
That was what I found.
It would.
Let's say it's granite when you look it up, but it's only. But then when you get to I'm like, okay, but what percentage? That's what you ask, because nothing is pure anything, and it's like some weak ass percentage. Okay, well then what's the rest? Yeah, and it's because I'm staring at it, and it's like streaking lightning in the daytime, off and on. What the fuck is that shit? That thing. That's what I said. That thing is radioactive. That was exactly my thought. So I just started messing with the Googler.
I think that's
and the Googler wasn't telling me, so I had to go into the fucking other shit.
That's how you know there was old technology and spiritual stuff there. You can sense that and feel that and instantly know it. Like how many times have you walked past something like, oh, that's radioactive?
Oh, and they come and they do those square things. So walking up Memorial Drive, because Memorial Drive ends at Stone Mountain, right? And walking in Stone Mountain and walking past church or whatever, they'll be it's off the bus stop or in the shopping plaza or whatever, right? They come and do those little surveys on the ground where they stick those metal things, so you'll just see the markings. But I was just staring at the markings on the ground, and I'm like, why do they look like symbols, like alien symbols and runes and shit? They don't look like numbers or why is this half triangles? And hey, I'm not in, don't give me the line. I'm not a civil engineer, so maybe I sound dumb, right? But I'm not that dumb. This looks like cave markings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the reason I say that is because every single time I walk past that exact spot from that portion of the sidewalk to that portion of the sidewalk, I swear I'm walking through a portal. Every time. Because I'll get through walking there and I'll be like,
our genetic.
Where am I at?
Yeah.
I'm like, nah. It just feels weird there. It's like a time warp right there. I'm like, they know something we know. This is I don't know. It's mad glitchy right here. I swear I saw a bird and disappear right there one time. I'm telling you.
A bird disappeared?
Yes. And it wasn't just me. Me and my kids. We were both like, what is that? Did you see that? We all saw it. Okay. We're just used to it now. And then we saw the ones and the zeros one time on the wall. All kind of shit we be seeing. And look, right? Look, no, but here's, how about this? How about this? I was like, don't ever tell anybody, right? Then we saw it again the next day. So then how about this?
Where was this at?
In my girl's apartment one time. Ooh. We were just sitting watching TV. Saw that shit. Boom, right on the wall. And then I'm like, okay, did you? Okay. Next day. Boom, the same spot. Okay, but check this out. Just because, let me tell you something. The Most High is good. Weeks later, I see somebody on the internet say, I walked out the house and seen the ones and zeros, yo. Underneath some dude talking about the binary code in a post. Because I'm like, oh. And then somebody else writes underneath there, okay, it's okay. We seen it too. I'm like, all right, not the only one. Thank you.
I've heard about that phenomenon. That's crazy.
All kind of shit. The Matrix is glitching, y'all. Whatever that means.
I can see it.
But here's what I think, right? I'm like, okay, let's make sense of it all. Because I'm into that, okay? Because I feel like I'm one of those people, I like to balance spirituality with practicality. Okay?
Because I like to balance spirituality
with practicality. Oh,
ratchetness.
With ratchetness. And then just make it ratchet. Make it ratchet. Keep it ratchet. Okay? And righteous. So I feel okay, so that's true, right? Maybe it's all a simulation and a projection, right? But then what if it's also just just a bad program? Okay, hear me out. What if there's a projection and, some false reality and we all live in this false, whatever. I don't know, whatever. I don't care. But what if we are being played somehow by the government, right? Whatever, who cares? But it's a bad show. Like, I mean, like, the people are not that smart. They're not doing a good job. They're failing. We're seeing it. And now the whole thing is, it's not that serious. It's already failed. This is it. It's not that deep. Like, that's it. Like, that's it. We figured it out. There's nothing else happening. Like, this is it.
We would like to hope so, but there's forms of magic that's just based off of doing certain numbers, writing certain numbers and stuff like that to interface with the different forms of reality. Like, we will like to hope so, because that takes more stuff off of us.
Oh, that's burden on us, you mean? I feel that. I feel like we make a big deal out of everything.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Like, nothing is ever as bad as you think it is.
Well, if you're thinking like a god, then yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you're not thinking like a god, then you worry about getting stepped on.
That's what I'm saying. I don't be thinking like that.
That's the key. That's what we need.
Yeah, because most bad shit that happens to people, real talk, has happened to me. And I'm not going out there saying I need something worse to happen to me now, okay? Mm-hmm. But for real, and then, man, it don't be that bad. You could deal with it.
Yeah, for real. Hindsight's 2020.
Right. Like, try being black in a fucking America. All right? Listen. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why we don't be that tripped out. Like, all right, whatever. Like, I remember, like, okay, for example, right? 4th of July, I'm in the hood, you know, with barbecue. You know what I'm saying? On some ratchet shit, you know, in the city up north, in Dove City, Wilmington, Delaware. That's right. Okay. And like, I'm a girl at my best friend's house, and all the kids and people outside on the block, and the old people, everybody's out, right? Bunch of people, and like, everybody stops. We look up, and there's like 4, like, I swear, orange lights in the sky. Okay, just stopped for like 15 minutes. We all just staring at it. That's how long it was. It really was like 15 minutes. We looked it back. So anyway, after a while, they stopped, and they just went do 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 do, and then one shot up straight. The next one shot up straight, shot up straight, shot up straight. Gone. And we didn't really talk about it. We sit there, and one of the old people were like, "Man, that's just them UFOs. All right, whatever." Just kept playing. Everybody's like, "All right, well, whatever."
Goddamn UFOs.
Yeah, and then just kept playing, and I wasn't even like, you know, like a year ago, 2 years ago. This was like 15 years ago. This is a long ass time ago. Before people talked about shit like this. So that's what I mean when I say black people. Like, if the elders didn't do that, we probably would have all got scared or something. But the elders are like, "Man, it's all right, y'all, whatever." Like, okay.
And you never realized.
We didn't realize nothing. You know? Yeah, because they didn't freak out, so we didn't freak out.
Goddamn, I remember my friend was telling me about it. His mom had some aliens land in his front yard and stuff, and the whole family knows about it. And then it was like,
yeah, like I was like, okay, like I never thought nothing about that. I might even be saying it was 15. Might have been, because I remember I wasn't that old. I was like maybe like 23. It was on, yeah. It's like, yeah.
And that's what's wrong with us, man. We experience so much shit.
Right.
Yeah, so much shit.
We're numb to it.
We're numb to it. Like,
those goddamn UFOs again.
Right. And then it's like you have to get into a space of quietness to even process what just happened. You know what I'm saying? That's how crazy it is, because I know coming from Right. And it's different, because like I know coming from Delaware is different, and I know coming from South Carolina, where I'm from, it's like different things here, because it's like there's in Columbia, South Carolina, it may be different now, but when I was out there, there was no black suburbs. You know what I'm saying? We're in a black suburb right now. It's like there was no black suburbs. It was black as the hood. You know what I'm saying? And it's like some bullshit going on.
Yeah.
You know, and racism. Like crazy racism, like you go in the wrong neighborhood. It's like, what are you doing here, boy? That sort of shit goes on in Columbia, South Carolina, probably to this day. You know what I'm saying? But you don't process how racist that is until you're in a place where it's not like that.
Right.
Like Georgia is not like that. You know, you got your racist stuff, of course, especially outside of the city of Atlanta, because the city of Atlanta is its own little bubble. But once you get out of there, it's it's Redneckville all over. But you know, so you don't really experience that same sort of thing here. You know what I'm saying? And then, so it's like, dang, that shit was racist as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you just have to go to yourself to even process the shit that just that happened. Like,
you do.
some racist ass shit. Like,
crazy.
damn, I didn't say anything. They're not racist ass shit.
No,
like,
you don't say nothing.
Yeah, it's like, damn, that was some racist ass shit that happened.
Yeah.
But you got to get in the place where it's, you're not recognize that. But you guys call in 470-572-7678. We're going in drugs, sex, and ghosts. What's really possessing Atlanta? Going in. It's only on 2 Raw for TV. We're going to let the live stream go on Instagram. Go just for a couple more minutes. But you guys get on to 2rawfortv.tv. That's the number 2, RAW, the number 4, TV.tv to see this uncensored. Because we're going in tonight. Oh, yeah, we're going in tonight. So 2rawfortv.tv. But I want to talk about the drugs. Okay. Let's talk about the drugs. Cocaine, methamphetamine, you know what I'm saying? Weed. Because let's keep it a buck right now. Weed is a drug right now. That government shit, shit's a drug. That loud, that za, yeah, that shit's a drug. But we're gonna go in on all of that. You guys call in 470-762 470-572-7678. So you guys call in. We're going in tonight. So what's your thoughts? Why? Okay, drugs, sex, and ghosts. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about the drugs. Why do you feel like so many people are on these drugs out here in Atlanta?
Man. Well, there's three of them, So of course we're the home of the CDC. I'll tell you when the drugs really started coming in. The drugs really started coming in during like the 70s, in late 60s, when a lot of the conscious people started moving out of New York, and they wanted to come down and start a conscious community in the West End. Mm-hmm. That's how the West End was born. There's a whole bunch of not scholars, black people, like how we are, knowledgeable, knowledge of self, coming down, trying to start something nice. And that's the first place they really started implementing like the big drug epidemic in Georgia.
See, there you go, history right there. Mm-hmm. Just broke it down. You
don't
know
Atlanta.
Yeah, a Black Shiva. Shout out to Black Shiva. She says that drugs. I guess you're answering the drugs question. Why all these drugs? She says lack of spirituality or spiritual fulfillment.
They're spiritual because they're spiritual by nature. They don't have the skills to process their emotions. Like we were talking about how much stuff we're numb to. We're so numb to things and we're suppressing it that the drugs is the biggest place that allows people to find a different parallel universe or another alternate reality where they can feel good without dealing with what they had. And I know we talk about it a lot, but our genetic memory has so much BS and tension in it that what people use as an opportunity to keep us on the drugs in order to manifest certain entities and other realities through us as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the energy is there. Suppressed emotion is still a lot of energy. And if you're not handling it or mastering it, someone else is. And the drugs allow you as a more malleable source for someone to imprint whatever stamp they want on that. Mm-hmm. And the suppressed emotion is going to constantly feel that no matter what you do consciously.
You can be controlled.
Mm-hmm. And farmed.
Right.
Like a plant.
Because your behavior is predictable.
Mm-hmm. And we're emotional people. Like, even want us to do anything, they know how to. Why we hate white people and shit so much in the system is because we know they know how to emotionally manipulate us.
Mm-hmm. And then it's not just the drugs that people use illegally. It's the drugs, prescription drugs. It's the chemtrails. Mm-hmm. It's the water, the drugs in the water, the food, and the Food and Drug Administration. It's the clothes we wear, honestly, are quite poisonous.
Mm-hmm. That's real. And y'all remember that time we had that big drought and we had to get water from like North Carolina and Tennessee and surrounding states.
Oh.
They say also around that time is when they started implementing, people talk trash about Alex Jones, stuff like that, but the whole gay frog thing, putting the mass hormones in the water is when that's when they really started implementing it here. That's where you see that big, well, Atlanta's always been pretty gay, but not gay, you know what I'm talking about? Not militarized gay.
Mm-hmm. They're militarizing the water.
Militarized gay is different than
someone
just being gay. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, because it seems forced.
Mm-hmm.
But then also the trees, the masculine trees only, which cause allergies. But then also, I feel like energetically, only masculine trees make for like a different type of energy with the aggression. Like think about the roads. And then, obviously sexuality, but just think about anything you're trying to create, right? Like you need a balance to create that, to birth new things, right? We want to birth things. We want it to be balanced within each other, within ourselves, how we interact with each other, how we interact within ourselves, right? So the trees, which we use to produce what carbon and oxygen, right? To each other. How does that help? I mean, when you go to certain parts, like when you go to the natural, like Pinole State Park area, you get the balance of masculine and feminine trees, and it's such a difference. You're like, whoa, there's dew. There's dew in the morning, but there's like no dew. Like you don't realize how much dew is missing. There's like spores everywhere because that's just all the sperm in the air from fucking trees.
Wow.
That's all you're getting in the springtime.
So you're saying that like in the city and stuff, they cold out like the feminine trees?
So they only plant masculine trees.
Wow.
So you know how
God damn, I never even knew that.
Yeah, like when your car in allergy season and your car is covered in that green shit, that's because it's only sperm everywhere. There's no feminine trees because they don't, and it's also the other catch to that is they don't want fruit bearing trees, so people don't have free food.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I remember upstate New York, there were some apple trees at the supermarket, and people were always like picking off them. And it was like, oh yeah, like where's the fucking fruit? In the Caribbean, there are fruit trees everywhere. Everywhere. It's wonderful.
Well, the good thing is, I think they well, I don't really care what they're doing as a city, but if we get right, we can switch everything back real
That's
quick.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
It would be so easy.
That's one of the biggest benefits of living in Georgia. Is like, if you live in Georgia and don't have a garden, then you fucking up.
Right.
And how much, let me not give away the tricks of the trade right now. Because I'm about to make money. I had $1 million idea right now. I'm not going to say it.
You're not going to say it in front of thousands of people?
If you're smart, you'll channel me and get
it. Okay. Well, we're going to do some channeling. We're going to do some channeling. We're going to do some energy work, but you're going to see only that part on 2rawvertv.tv. So we're going to be on Instagram for only a couple more minutes. You got to go to 2rawvertv.tv to see this. Call in 470-572-7678. We're going in tonight.
And so one more thing about the drugs. Like I said, the drugs is the main gateway for the possessions that are coming around. But a lot we don't really know, we don't talk about enough in our community is what type of possessions they're causing, or what wants to come through like that. And I think it's more than just negative stuff that's coming through too. Because when people get high, they don't all experience just something negative. People don't just have all suppressed negative emotion too. It's just a lack of awareness aside. Because besides this suppressed emotion, they're melanized and they're activating, and they're becoming more sensitive to a whole lot of things, and have no way of awareness. If they can't process their emotions, they have no way to show contrast of what's happening spiritually, genetically, and that's what's awakening their powers. What type of ancestral connections are trying to get in touch with them? What type of spiritual worlds are trying to pull them closer to because we all have different allegiances in the spirit world, like, and that's causing that stuff too. Why so much drugs? Also, they're trying to kill people too.
Yeah, there's a lot of duality there.
Yeah.
I believe they have more than one side of them.
What?
Well, do you spend time with any of these addicts?
Well, mainly it was just my uncle, but most of the people I've really grown up with, like school, peer-wise and stuff like that, I was able to see more of an addict in those people.
They have duality. They have like the devil-angel side. Maybe that angel side is one of the good ancestors because it's still not the person. I've seen both.
Well, this is this is the thoughts, because this is how fucked up they have the weed right now. You know what I'm saying? They had different herbs, marijuana being one of them, that they used in different concoctions that people use to do meditations, mantras, looking at a mandala, open eye meditation. These are the meditations that people like Hercules, who was a real person, did to gain these superpowers, and they used a different concoction of this. So, they took that and they militarized it, made it this other thing to where now it's, you get sleepy and it's not the same sort of thing. It's not inspiring you to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like people, like people used to smoke weed to get artistic. Now people are like smoking weed just to like go to sleep. Like, and assassins, that came from hash. That was a way these people were doing these, elaborate assassinations and getting hyped up and pumped up to do that through hashish. You know what I'm saying? So the different sorts of these herbs and stuff, also high magic. They called it high magic because these people were actually high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were high and they were doing the swirling dervishes and doing the different things, the different magical connotations and the spells and all of that stuff like that. They were high doing that. You know what I'm saying? But what they're putting out there right now,
it ain't for that.
The weed is a drug. These are drugs. You know what I'm saying? That loud is just like crack right now. I mean, the people be nodding off like it's heroin. Like what the? Like, no.
And they're all in the a lot of the hookah bars here just like passed out. Like so you're talking about spells over Atlanta. One thing I noticed when I came here, like moved here almost 2 years ago, it's going out to like all the spots as soon as I got here, as much as people would take me to. So like not that many, but enough. See the variety. Man, I'm like, okay, everything is smoked out and people could smoke indoors here, whatever they want, cool. But everybody's zonked out and there's couches. There's no dancing. That's weird to me. Like being from the Philly area, everything is a disco dance or like a house party vibe, sweaty dancing on like sweat your hair out almost vibe. Or if they're not doing that, they're standing around, interacting, drinking, walking, talking. I only saw that once when my friend took me to a spot it was in the West End in like a hotel bar.
Oh, yeah.
But it was all white people. They were like one of like 3-4 black people. But that's it. Everything else, just all of even in only like 1 or 2 spots where people were really moving and dancing. Like you have to go to specifically a dance spot, but like majority, people just zonked out like this.
And
what is that about?
It changed. I mean, I remember growing up in people, that's how it was. It's just changed recently like that. That's
yeah.
Like
and people think, and people are, it's been so subtle, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, it's let me a little sleepy. Okay, now you're nodding off like a heroin addict.
Yeah, that's all they're doing.
What's that? Like, we were recording at, big time shout out to Roz Isaac, but we were recording at Vegan Dreams Donuts one time, his donut shop on Tuesdays at 11 on True Rover TV. And the dude said he was just smoking or whatever. Not going to name any names. You already know who you are. And he's a cool person, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not putting him out there like that. But, you know, he passed out. Got off, like stood up and just fell out. Face forward on camera. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
While we were filming, like, and it's just like, you smoking weed to get that, like, that'd be, if I ever was smoking weed and that happened, I'll quit that day. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, now it's just part of the thing. Like, that's just like what people expect. They expect to get drowsy and like, that's no. That has never been what it was about. You know what I'm saying? People who smoke weed
of escapism,
freestyle, get creative, you know, do things like that.
Something communal and not just doing it while you know.
To raise the consciousness. Is there, look, our brain receptors have THC. We have THC brain on our brain receptors. They're there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So it never was meant to do that, but they have weaponized. They have made this weed to where you're just nodding off, and it's like fucking crack. Yeah, y'all people that smoking this weed, man, y'all think you're Snoop and you're looking like damn Pookie. You're not Snoop, you're Pookie. You know what I'm saying? You're looking like a damn crackhead. You know what I'm saying? But that's the cool thing. Being a crackhead is cool now.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, but we're gonna go into. I want to go into the sex aspect. We're talking about drugs, sex, ghosts. What's really possessing Atlanta? Hold that thought for one second. We're gonna go into it. Atlanta is where people from around the world come to get free from their inhibition. Everything is here in abundance: sex, drugs, and every demon imaginable. It can suck you deep to where a casual indulgence becomes an overnight obsession. To secure land grab, pilgrims made sure natives were liquored up with spirits. These same spirits roam the city and take away every minute of the mind they possess. If it takes up all your time, is it an obsession or possession? So tonight we're going to be talking to top tier Tantra instructor and ghost hunter. We're going to go into all of that. You know what I'm saying? Timbo Slice right here. You guys hit him up on Instagram at Tim_BO.SLICE about enhancing your life through sex alchemy, demon time, and how to take your dreams to the next level. Drugs, sex, ghosts, what's possessing Atlanta. And guess where you're not going to find this? You're not going to find this on Twitter. You're not going to find this on Facebook. You're not going to find this on Instagram, because right now the revolution will not be televised. Come over to TwoRawForTV.tv. Catch this raw. The revolution will not be televised.
That's smooth as butter, boy.
All right.
I wanted to say, they're doing the same thing to weed that they did to tobacco.
Speak on it. We're still live. Oh, that's just Instagram. we're still live on TwoRawForTV.tv.
Yeah, they're doing the same dirty thing of taking the spiritual aspect of the oils forward and replacing it with an artificial replacement.
Yeah, because it's not the same.
But that's the devil's work, though. They do that to everything. They do it to history. They do it to the things that will elevate you more. Like, so weed is supposed to open up your heart center, your heart chakra, and your crown allow you to. So let's say that's more of the feminine spirit. It allows you to bring in more information, be open to more information, or more open to your manifestations and stuff. And tobacco was supposed to concentrate it, like a laser beam.
Yeah.
But the more these people started smoking the weed without acting on the ideas that they had, of the creative ideas that come to them, it started shutting down that faculty and started shutting them down spiritually as well, because they stopped trusting inside themselves That's another form of how they start. You might not have no problems when you first start smoking. You're having fun and all this stuff, but you keep on smoking and you just start ignoring those ideas that come. That's another form of suppressing emotion that a lot of people go through too. But I heard there was like planets and they found THC residue on asteroids and shit.
Oh wow!
In space and stuff like.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not in itself. It's not terribly bad. It's not, and it opens up what you're supposed to be doing, and it gives you access to certain portals and magic and different things of that nature. But now it's just like something that people use as a suppressant, as something that they go to sleep on and nod off. And I was like, that's not cool, man. I don't like that sort of stuff. Like,
Yeah, it's sad, man. Heartbreaking, really. I was watching a little clip of when crack came out, and this rich crackhead volunteered for an interview for 60 Minutes or something like that, and he was giving a warning just about how bad crack was, but how he loved it.
Was he the one with the big job, the nice good job or something?
Yeah.
I think I posted that on my page. I posted it on the page. Yeah.
Well, but also out there,
I posted that on TooRawForTV.tv as well too. So you gotta check that out.
They also, what was I say? Yeah, that shit through my mind. Oh yeah, through the crack era and those different drug eras, it's something that they try to knock us out with as melanated people, but always awaken something stronger in us.
Yeah,
and the fact that we're reaching like more of a point where quantumly, what things could then seem like could exist and don't exist are having more weight and can exist now. It's like we are more drugged up than ever, more poisoned than ever. More saturated with information than ever. You can correlate the rise of technology with the rise, how in our community with the lack of dancing when people go out. Like everything is at a focal point that wasn't real at first, and it's almost like when you pull in the bag or trying to get your clothes to the right side, you're at that point where it goes inside to outside. These people are drugged up, and we might think it's a real big problem, which it is, but it's actually, what's the right word? I don't want to sound. It's actually one of the only things that could expand their consciousness to something else in an expansive way as fast as this universe is expanding and the powers are actually here.
So it's sort of like
it's like a psychedelic.
Yeah, it's like they try to fuck us up, but it's always working out our benefit somehow. Like,
we're always mutating. We're our DEA.
Always, and we're always adapting. And but for us, it was like we're fucked up. It's fucking up. But it was like, why can't we get slow them down? Like all the good music and all the good things, inventions, and the brilliance that came out of the crack era for crack babies. They broke through and had a different level of creativity, access to it. The heroin era did, but and I'm sure back in the old days, that's how they used ayahuasca and mushrooms, and they found cocaine in mummies. Shisha knew. And it might be a universal force if they're finding THC on asteroids. So it may be more of a cosmic plan.
Yeah.
To jumpstart something like, I don't know, like a natural psychedelic vaccine.
I mean, there's so many things, like if you let your mind really go for it, because have you ever seen that show Raised by Wolves? That's a good one. You should watch that. You would like that.
Well, let's do this because we're gonna go into this. We're going in. You guys call in 470-572-7678. We're on TooRawForTV.tv, Revolutionary Black Media. We're going in drugs, sex, ghost. And I want to talk about the Tantra aspect, the sex aspect, the energy aspect of it. and we're going to go and actually do live demonstrations. You guys, this is why we can't put this on Instagram. It's too much. But we're going in on that. But as far as like the sex aspect, like I was saying before, they want us to focus on just like that part of sex, and then putting on a condom or having an abortion, or sexual education, to where they want us just to utilize sex in a way that's not super empowering. It's not. It's just like it's another drug. You know what I'm saying? It's another drug. So, what's your thoughts on sex alchemy, and how to utilize it to take it to the next level?
It's imperative. For survival, it is imperative. Just sex in a physical aspect. It is the main way human beings bond chemically. And our level of bonding is directly associated with our level of family, and our sense of community and self-worth. If people were taught, better ways of intimacy and understand like the chemicals and the things that happen during sex, I just lost my thought again. But if they just knew about how much bonding was in there, and that they don't have to go out in the world to do something to feel, what's the right word? To get accepted. Some black people have an idea that we have to go out and get accepted, or we're not accepted by other people. And yes, that's a part. That's racism, stuff like that too.
So we do have some callers on the line, so I do want to get to everybody. So we're talking about drugs, sex, and ghosts. What's really possessing Atlanta? You're on the line with Too Raw for TV. If you can't turn your background off, turn that the volume down, because it's like you can hear it. If you can't turn your background. Okay. Yes.
Hey.
Peace.
I just want to see what you guys calling, show some love. What's
Peace.
good? TV, everybody.
Hey, peace, Mahogany.
Hi, Timbo.
Hello. Greetings.
What's
Peace.
good?
I'm Supreme.
I let y'all know that I got energy for y'all, love for y'all.
Much love.
Yes. Hey, you know what? I'm so glad that you called, because it was such an awesome experience hosting with you at the Ankh Lovers affair. So,
and not the rest.
Yes. So let people know when we're coming back with that, because man, that was such a divine experience, and everybody that's on the couch here was at that Ankh Lovers affair. So yes, can you tell people? Well, first, I know you called. So do you have any what is your thoughts on drugs, sex, ghosts? What's really possessing Atlanta?
Okay, well, I recently tuned in. I don't know if you saw how long I was watching. I was watching for maybe the last 10 minutes. So,
okay.
I had heard I was going to go back and watch the replay to catch, everything. So where are we at with the company? Okay, well, I recently tuned in.
Okay, so
basically, I know y'all were talking about drugs and marijuana and everything. I agree with what Brother Timbo Slice was saying. Marijuana, even with all the attempts to tamper it and everything, when approached with the right intention, it's still, it's still the nature of aspect of things. It still resonates within your ability to, transfer that and, like you said, activate your crown and your thoughts and expand what's already within you. It's just the amplification. But then also with those who are not, applying that extra expansion of creativity and, et cetera, et cetera. I could see where, it also defaults to the the slumber, and it's just becoming like an aesthetic, an aesthetic just to kill time and pass time and just a trend, and it was never meant for that. Just like how locks is, locks are never really meant to be looked at as a hairstyle, but here we are. It's really upon the person on what type of aesthetic they're connected to it, because you're the activator.
Powerful. That's true. Yeah, because like I'll say. Okay, yeah, absolutely. So no doubt. Hey, and so that affair was crazy. You guys could see some of the video footage actually on TwoRoverTV.tv of the Ankh Lovers affair. Can you tell people a little bit about what inspired that and when the next one will be?
Well, kind of spinning off of some of the topic here. Y'all have abundant sex. That part right there. That part. Well, not so far going all the way to the bedroom with the concept of what the show is about, but it's definitely on the pathway there. We have to first make healthy connections. And I just noticed for quite some time, I've been noticing that there's a decline there, especially within our own culture of Black love. It's struggling in a lot of ways. It's healthy in some places, but it is, for the most part, it needs some nurturing. And, I just came up with to say, hey, let me just put together a concept and bring us together, give us another outlet or another option, at least within the local space, and, to be able to be in person with one another. And even if it's not, like we didn't limit it to singles, but definitely for singles, but also, you're not single or you're a couple, whatever, it's about a vibration. We're getting light vibrations together first. You got to, that's the first step. And then what happens is the magic takes over. When we're in the same spaces together, that's like an alliance of our vibrations together and different, we're a lot of same accords going on. So, of course, the result of, being able to mingle and meet one another and maybe even establish some connections on a romantic level. And then we get into honoring the tantra of sex and everything and those ideals. You're going down that road. But it got to spark somewhere. And so that's what Ankh Lovers, single, sapio-conscious Ankh Lovers, meet, mix, and mingle is all about. That spark, or even if it's networking, because I feel like the results of our people coming together, sex manifests itself, intimacy manifests itself in different ways. We don't always call it intimate, but every form of relationship has intimacy to it. So even networking and whatever is sparked, that is what the show is for. Within light vibrations coming together.
That's powerful. Like, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. When's the next one?
January 3rd,
Yeah.
Hey, let's get it.
Hey, you already know. So you guys come out to the Kari's January 3rd is going to be an amazing thing. The first one was off the chain. We had so many great people come out there. People I hadn't seen in years. Like my brother right here. Hadn't seen in years. We're going to go in about that because big time shout out to Master Yao and the Grand Trine. We're going to talk about all of that right now. And Mojave, big time shout out to you. Tell them where they can find you at online.
MOHAGONI Roots, ROOTS. So at Mahogany Roots, and put the D in front of it, and you'll go to the website, The Mahogany Roots.
All right. That's what's up.
Yes.
You guys check her out and join us on January 3rd. It's going to be an amazing thing. The first Friday of the new year.
I'll be there.
Hey, all right.
She'll be there too.
Hey, all right.
Hey. I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, just you guys, you're online to rovertv.tv. Leave a comment on the site so I know that you're out there. If you have any comments or questions, you could also post them there. Call in 470-572-7678. We're going in with big time shout out to Mahogany. We're going to go in on this subject. Continue to listen online. We're going in on this subject.
All right, y'all have a great one.
All
You
right.
too.
Peace.
All right.
So you know what? She said something really cool. She said, we can feel each other's light vibrations. So when I was watching like I feel like it was like the infamous like Terrence Howard. No, it wasn't that. It was something else he did. But I was watching him do an interview when he's talking science talk, and everybody knows he's really smart about that. But you know how they're talking about the distance of like the sun to the earth, it's like 96 million miles or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about that, or he wasn't talking about that, he's talking about light. But I think of it like this. So if you think about like the distance of the sun to the earth, right? And like how far away that is, right? And if you travel there, that would take like forever and a day, right? To travel 96 million miles. But you can't think of like light as traveling that way. Like light travels like light speed, right? But then it doesn't travel any speed because that's not how it works. So really, Terrence Howard was saying like it multiplies, like light, like basically photons have sex with each other. Right? So like really, when you see the sun, like if that were the case, so when the sun rose every day, if you think about it like that, when the sun rises every day, the light hits you instantly, right? So it's not taking a long time to travel, right? You get it? So it's like, no, really, it's multiplying. Well, what does that mean? So my mind be going all over the place. So it's like, okay. So when you raise up in the morning, like if you think about it, we're all beams of light. Like you can see the light behind your eyes when you look in the mirror. Do you ever see that little beam of light sometimes? Right. Okay. So it's reflecting whatever light is, you're always reflecting. So if we're all like, if you think about like when you light a fire, you're really just like marrying light with light, and it's just drawing from whatever light is in whatever particle anywhere. Like drops of water have light in it. Like everything has light, and there's water and dew and air and everywhere, right? So think about that. So just going woof, right? Because whatever chemical you mix it with from wherever it's coming is igniting it, right? So essentially, all of us, when we wake up in the morning as light beings, we are igniting the sun, which is why we draw it up, which is why the days are longer or shorter or whatever. When we all get up, we rise with the sun. So we're like all on a schedule. Like if we all decide we're getting up at 9 in one part of the country, then or at 5 a.m., between 5 and say we're all getting up between 5 and 9 in the morning, then that's when the fucking sun rises, like 7 o'clock. You get what I'm saying? But we're all on a schedule, on a fucking matrix schedule, right? So Eastern time, Pacific time, this time. So then what? So then if we all just did what we wanted to do and we didn't do any of that, then the sun would never go down, right? Because there's no time. Because it's all just having sex with itself.
That's powerful. You guys call in 470-572-7678.
It's just multiplying. It's just constantly multiplying.
That, well, because there was a time on the planet where the moon did not exist.
That's what I'm saying. There you go.
And they say human emotions dictate weather patterns and stuff like
exactly.
that. So
exactly.
I definitely see it.
Because like I'm from up north, it's really cold, right? And down here, it's really warm, but it's like the same temperature sometimes or parts of the year. But then like Delaware is not as cold as like New York. I've lived in New York. It's way colder, but then it felt like it was the same. Cold. Yeah, it was like the same temperature for parts of the years, but it was way colder than Delaware. So, but then I realized, I was like, you know what it is? When it gets to be 32 degrees here in Atlanta, people are like, oh, fuck that. I don't like the cold. They're like, I'm not messing with this. And they're like, no. They reject the cold, and then boom, it's warm again.
Yep.
But like up north, they're depressed and like, or they're like, oh, here we go. We got to endure this. Let's do it, guys. And they're like, their vibration lowers and they just accept it. And they get angrier and they like road rage each other. And they like, but they don't have anything to look forward to. Whereas down here, people love hikes and walking and parks and like
we have more
festivals,
social memory.
Yeah.
Memory of it being warm.
Yeah, but not up there. They don't, when they bike here still and they walk. They do stuff. There's like trails and time with your family and outside and shit. There's no outside up north. Unless you're outside, you get shot and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, like you can't go outside like when I was a kid. Like, nope, we used to walk the blocks and shit. And then she goes to a park. You know, you gotta like go to the nice park on the nice side of town and drive to that shit. Not anymore. So it don't matter where you live. So it's just different. It's depressing. It's when it gets cold, a little bit cold, everybody goes, oh no. Because a little bit of freedom they have in the summer, where they could like drive to the beach or drive, you know, people are more outside, it's over. So it's like that depression energy controls like the weather. So that's why I kind of feel like you're talking about like sex, right? Like, how can we harness this power? I know that as like a Scorpio, I'm like, you know, I'm a tarot is astrology. So I'm like, it all goes, it's just intuitive astrology. Okay. So I'm a Scorpio dominant person. My birth chart means I have like, your birth chart is like where all the planets in the sky were, positions where you were born. And most of us have different positions of all the planets when we were born, or maybe some where the same planet was in the same place. But me, I have most of them, almost half of them in Scorpio, which is rare. So because of that, I'm Scorpio dominant. Scorpio is ruled by the 8th house, which is ruled by sex. That's why people like always say Scorpios are sexy, or they look sexy and good and bad, or that bullshit. Who knows, right? But either way, it does there's some ring to it, okay? Because I'm really good at using that energy because people always throw it at me. I think it's just a mystery of it all because the Scorpio 8th house also rules the occult, mystery, power dynamics. Okay. So, you know, people tend to equate those things in the same vein. So because of that, I understand that marriage of masculine and feminine. Okay. I have both mix of divine masculine and divine feminine in me. So I can show the dudes and the girls very easily. And the reason why, so it's like, you know, okay, how do you marry those energies? So you constantly are riding like the line of this and the line of that, but it's all about control of emotions. When I was listening to what you're saying all night, like people don't have any knowledge of their own emotions. And I'm very aware of that as an energy person. Like emotions are the driver of your universe, YOU universe, your personal universe. And that's very important to know. If you take anything from this conversation, I think that is the biggest takeaway when you talk about like probably everything, if you marry everything we talk about tonight, like your emotions and how the techniques you're probably going to learn. Your emotions are the most important. Self-awareness is key because if you can, I don't say control, just navigate yourself, right? You can really have more control of the outside world.
That's the only way to have more control of the outside world. Is it's not necessarily controlling your emotions. That's a whole nother step, but being able to acknowledge them.
Yeah, self-awareness.
Yep, that's self-awareness.
Mindfulness.
And that is almost as well, I'm not gonna say almost, I'm about to jump the thing, but in a world where different, like love is a force, you know, love and hate the same thing, something like that. Awareness is a powerful force in reality. Like it is the subconscious, it's the mental version of light. Awareness. Because awareness is what light does, and your power of light, of being light, beings come in so many different ways. Just like light is in everything and darkness is in everything. We can see it on different planes of how that plays out, but that sexual energy is the occult. So if you have light and dark, sex or the sexual energy will be the circle is confined in. It's the way things are manifested through all the realms. There's a certain pathway of it. So it's like the number 6 is sex. The energy your cells need to replicate and heal is sexual energy. The energy your body needs to transform and drop this body and go into another soul body is sexual energy. The energy you need to transform anything in your life from I feel negative to positive. It is sexual energy. Is that we break it up in so many different ways. So like the biggest thing that holds people back in sex now is that it takes you so deep inside yourself. As much as they try to, because we're learning these techniques from cavemen and savages that don't understand that just that these sexual things was not just for pleasure. It's not, no matter how much you can take the surface and say I'm a have an arrangement with this person, we're just gonna have sex, everything every now and then, keep it copacetic. We can never deny just how much awareness it brings back inside of us, or tries to bring us inside of us. And the thing is breaking down like the community is that we are sexual people and emotional people, but we don't know how to process those emotions enough for us to feel safe to allow the goddess to like to allow those deep occult powers to start coming through. Just because the man's not sure just how deep he can withstand in the midst of chaos or unknown. Like, man.
So what would be considered then? Are we talking about Tantra now?
Yeah, we're talking about Tantra.
Okay.
You know,
we're talking about Tantra. I do want to get into the techniques and everything.
I have a question.
No, we're gonna. Matter of fact, because I'm gonna move from the couch because I know you got the demonstration and all that stuff like that. So I'm gonna just adjust this and all that stuff like that because I do want to get some demonstrations, but I do want you to ask your question before we start or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, what do you mean when you say the man doesn't get deep? Like, what's deep? Like, does deep mean like intense, long sessions, or like 12 hours?
12 hours of what?
Of sex.
In
12 hours of sex?
Yeah, or like eight
that sounds like
hours,
a
like
book.
6 hours, 6 to 8 hours.
12 hours of sex.
Or like 6.
No, I'm just thinking that's like it sounds like a book. Your soul's gonna take that book idea. 12 hours of
so
12 hours of sex. Hey, but that
like nonstop, like just keep going for like
that's
6 to 8 hours.
12 hours. Yeah, that's.
I won't get too hippy dippy, but it's not about the duration.
Mm-hmm.
It's about how much they can go inside.
Right.
So what I'm saying, men don't get that deep. I'm saying like most men don't know what their idea of a man is if they didn't have a physical body.
Okay, I feel you.
They're basing their manliness off of like societal things, and they have no real concept of just how much of an expansive being they are inside.
Right.
So as a woman's going deeper, especially when it comes to tantra with orgasms and stuff, the orgasm is supposed to allow you to go deeper and feel more intense sensations.
Yeah.
But if you don't feel like you have control after a certain intense sensation, men feel that the most. They try to clam up quicker when it gets too intense. So that's why they don't allow themselves to go deep inside their own heart.
Oh, they're usually the ones that like stop. Got you.
Yeah, because either they start, and just for men and women too, either they start worrying about what can go wrong. It's like I don't know if y'all ever had sex with someone and they start crying or something like that, or in the energy work, like sex doesn't look all sexy all the time. Like some of the best orgasms is not them screaming. Screaming and flopping around and stuff. It's when they get real still, it can really relax and breathe. Like sometimes you can get more pleasure not pumping at all. And different areas inside of the yoni correlate to different parts of the body. So different strokes in different parts of the body in the yoni can send the bring the woman's aware. Okay, when a man's stroking for the woman, it's like awareness and light. In the womb and the yoni is like the darkness and expansiveness of the universe that all exists. But you can't really bring it all out at once. You have to be able to shine a light on it at one time to help the woman concentrate on parts of it. And I'm just talking about sex and what's happening energetically. and how we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. And when we're making love, we're using elemental energies, ancestral energies, zodiac energies. And there's so much happening at that point. But the biggest thing about sex that kind of messes up for people is that it's the culmination of your lifetime experiences. When you have sex with one woman, you're having sex with your relationship with the feminine aspect in creation of everything, and how you relate with that. If you have sex with one man, you're having sex with all the aspects of masculine energy. But when we compartmentalize, that's how you say it, right? Yeah, it shuts us down from bringing the full expression of ourselves. So,
but that depends on how free the person is with themselves.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because depending on how much you spiritually ascend and cleanse yourself, to you might not approach sex that way, where that does you know what I mean?
Right. And you don't have to approach it that way, because it's spiritual regardless, and the carnal is good and stuff too. I was saying that.
No, but I mean, like, in terms of like, everybody's not. Yeah, like some people, they may have sex with, I don't know, a lot of partners, right? But also there are people who are like healed. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not completely healed, because you can never completely heal, right? But really healed of their trauma, their sexual trauma, because everybody has trauma. But healed of it, so they can come with a rather like ready to have sacral experience. You know what I mean? So, and then also, sex is healing. So can't you also create something new with that person too? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's powerful. Hold on for 1 second, because we do have a comment on this site, and you guys continue to comment on the site. Call up 470.
Because I know my thinking.
7678. Beams of light in your eyes. What? Black Shiva says, beams of light in your eyes, ? What? She hadn't heard that before. A big time shout out to Black Shiva.
That was a whole light and awareness.
Awareness, giving people awareness. That's why we do this, Too Raw for TV. But right now, I do want to. This is only for Too Raw for TV. You can't sell this on social media. So we want to go into the different techniques, sort of transformative techniques, intro techniques, or whatever you want to show. You know what I'm saying? Just get people acclimated with that. I'm gonna move from the couch and sort of adjust the thing. So.
We're doing the thing.
All right. Just a little bit.
So what do I have to do?
Okay. So, I was trained in shamanistic tantra. It is something we call active tantra. So before I was talking about some of the philosophies, just the energetic things that happen. And the whole aspect is that, sex is a holistic thing, mind, body, and soul. And it is one of the great gifts for us to reset our bodies and our programs, and to bond with humans. So you can also help remove people's trauma or just tension. If your girl is going through something rough during the day, depending on what emotion she's having, you could think about a different emotion and carry that opposite emotion. And when you make love to her, it can help heal that for her. Right? So there's different techniques. What we do, we call the body work. And there's a lot of benefits that come from it. But we're known for teaching people how to get orgasms without touching. Not saying that you be orgasmic or something like that, because it's a process that all goes through it. And it's kind of one of the high levels of spiritual balance, really, because Tantra is not, I'm saying sex, but it's the blending of everything of your existence to work for you in a pleasurable way. It's one of the modalities that reprograms your subconscious through pleasure and benefits stuff. So listen, well, we're gonna do a little demonstration. You know, I forgot to bring my table, so that's my bad. I'm gonna have to come back and do it just for too raw, for too easy, you know. And yeah. So it's a polarity type of work. And you know, all you gotta do is just relax. And I just need one hand right here. So you never had energy work before. Well, okay. Get right back. So you might feel tingling and stuff like that. Just be aware of how you feel in your body. You close your eyes. Keeping your tongue at the roof of your mouth behind your two front teeth helps to bring the energy from the head down to the heart. And what I'm going to do with this position is help bring the energy from all around her body to her heart. And it should spread back out again. How long you want me to go? So how long you want me to go? Okay. Okay, it should. Let's trust right there. All right. So just like how you can walk inside of a room and you can feel how the energy of the room is or how it can change, or us just walking in, we can change the energy of the room. We do the same thing every day when we're relating and being intimate. Tantra can be done without having physical intercourse. It's way beyond that and expansive. You take 5 deep breaths in through your nose, exhale out your mouth within. That's good. You always got to keep breathing. That's good. That's good. So what I'm doing pretty much is creating a nice safe space for her nervous system to relax, because we're all orgasmic and sexual beings by nature. Like, it's our birthright to feel good. A lot of times we carry so much tension that we don't allow the energy to flow through smoothly. And all the orgasm is just a release of tension or arousal. You doing all right so far?
Mm-hmm.
You notice anything?
Yeah, my back is real hot. And I started feeling like my like, I don't know, like this what part of me was like raising up or something. Like, I don't know what. I was like pulling up.
Okay.
It was good though. It was like almost like something that was stuck to me and got off.
Mm. A lot of times we have, the energy gets stuck in certain places. We just need to guide it a little bit more.
And my hands are numb. I don't know, they're like not numb, they're like tingly.
When the hands and the arms are kind of connected to the throat. And the throat's one of the main places we release and express ourselves too. Also, when I'm working on your heart, it's usually bringing all that energy up into here to work with more.
Yeah, now it's like buzzing. This is all buzzing. When you it's like this.
Okay.
Like a buzzer.
Well, let's take it up a notch then.
Yep, I feel it now. It's like, yeah, like you said, tingly, but it's more like almost like when your foot's asleep a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And it spreads. When you feel cool like that energetically, it means you're becoming more magnetic.
Yeah, I feel like that a lot.
And typically what happens, like those sensations start to build up and circulate around the body.
Yep, it's like all over now in my knees and like my thighs mostly. And my vagina. Okay. I'm just keeping it real. Yep.
That's good. That's good.
And then like my shoulders, but not so much, more my like center and bosom.
So, you ever heard about how the heart produces so much more power than the mind?
Yeah.
This is how, and this is why. Because when we brought the energy up to the heart, that's where we started from. And now it's sending it out back everywhere else. Just like a heartbeat with blood. It does the same thing with the energy and orgasms too. See, I didn't
Yeah,
start.
now it's all jumping again.
Okay, let's go a little bit more. And it's all about just relaxing. Try to relax with every exhale. You don't have to breathe a certain type of way or nothing like that.
Okay.
You know, just pay attention to how you feel in different parts of your body. Because the tingling is going to bring you more awareness to different parts inside of you.
Yeah, I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
My feet too. A little bit, like around my heels almost.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit at my ankles. Like, but it's like moving up.
Yeah, you can follow that. It shows that your energetic meridians are open.
Like all the way up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
woof. Now it's like going up real fast.
And a lot of people always talk about
Woof.
people having
It's
blocks.
like increasing.
And it gets stronger and stronger. I feel it moving to the heart.
You feel it, right? I'm like, oh my goodness.
Feel a little tingling in my penis. So,
Whoa, it's crazy. Yeah, now I feel it coming to my ears almost. But like kind of stopping there.
it's probably spend some time there to balance off the left and right hemispheres.
Now my ears are ringing.
I felt to make the full connection. So. And take 5 more deep breaths in through your nose. Exhale within. Imagine breathing out anything you don't want, anything you don't want to keep. What's getting in the way, what may be blocking you, where you want to be, who you want to be. And every inhale, breathing in what you do. Okay, we'll start bringing it down a little bit. You know, just take your time and relax. You can put your hands over your heart, right over your left, left over right hand. And just imagine like a white ball of light, kind of on your spinal column, not your heart, but behind your heart. And just, feel your heartbeat. Imagine with every heartbeat, the energy is flowing and filtering through the heart. And everything you need is being stored there for later. You can either do it right here or you can do it over the belly. Yeah, just take your time and relax. I know it doesn't look like, a whole lot. But this is what you need to build more intimacy with the people, and how we're taught it's supposed to look like. It's not how it's supposed to look like. You feel more the stiller you are versus the more pumping that you have to do. The pumping is good for internal massage, but internal massage is not sex. And really taking time to listen to the person. A lot of times, the biggest thing that will set women off in intimacy is allowing the quiet time. If a male can be neutral enough to allow her to fizz out, or to be listened to, or heard, or honored, or something like that. Mm-hmm. It causes more serotonin and more unshakable peace of mind versus making her bust like 18 nuts.
That was good. That was a good demonstration.
I appreciate it.
I'm just saying, how are you feeling?
I feel great. I'm so relaxed.
That's the feeling we try to use weed for. It's that same type of peaceful after you smoke some good weed. It's a good calm down or nothing.
If I say what I would say right now, I'm gonna sound crazy as fuck.
Say it.
I just want to suck some dick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's natural. It's how it should.
I'm not even gonna hold you.
What about it though?
What do you mean?
Like, if you care to share, what?
I just my oral fixation has come to full. Like, all I kept doing was salivating.
And those things started to expand. It's like that's what came to mind, but it means so much more stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't. It's not like I have to.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel.
Trying to tell you, sex is what we're supposed to do. Our fantasy. This is where we really interact with our subconscious. Sex is where we really find out what our subconscious mind is at. Can we give?
I wasn't even on that type time. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't even know what was going on. I'm like, good job.
I appreciate it. It's crazy. When I was working on it, I got warm, but now I'm cold again.
I know. I got so hot. I was like, I get so hot. I was like, oh, he's doing something.
Okay. You responded well to the energy, so that's good to see.
Oh, my back is hot.
I was like, oh, what problems, But so you felt the tingling start to spread.
The whole body was tingling.
Still tingling?
A little bit, yeah.
The more you can relax with your breath, it'll keep the energy going.
I mean, it's still like, now I'm talking. Well, I was sitting there, yeah. Mm-hmm. And now I'm talking, it's like less.
And you sing it, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you sing?
Yes.
You sing?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why your throat feels so clear. A lot of people think the sacral is the seat of our sexuality. Mm-hmm. It's wrong. The sacral is just where the power plant is. Mm-hmm. The throat is like the command room.
Okay, got you.
Of sexual energy. The thyroid makes the hormones to regulate all the other stuff,
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, congratulations for being a trooper. First time.
Thank you.
T-Rob TV.
Thank you.
Exactly.
But you got to give the people some more. Let me ask some more questions so they can feel a little bit more for you. Okay. Any visions or anything pop up for you?
Oh yeah, fucking.
Mm.
At first, I was thinking about. I kept hearing a song because I'm a singer.
Mm-hmm.
I kept hearing, "If there's a cure for this,
Mm.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
Mm.
If there's a remedy, I run from it. I run from it." You know that song. I got the sweetest hangover. I don't want to get over. And then I ain't hear no other parts. Then it'll go back to, "If there's a cure." I was like, it was like a broken record on that part.
Mm.
I don't know why. It wouldn't, maybe that's all the part I know. It was just a happy part. And then, what else? I was walking in this valley. It was like soft.
Mm.
It was kind of like Star Wars. I don't know. Maybe I lived there one time.
Mm.
It was like purplish, pink. Like there was like maybe like sunset, like how it looks. No, sunrise.
Like pastel,
yeah, like
I've
sunrise.
seen some places like that before.
Yeah, and it was like beachy, but like mountainous, like dunes or something. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like peachy sunrise energy. I saw that a few times,
How's your heart feel?
and then I saw penis.
Mm.
Was it like a field of them?
No, big ass penis,
Okay.
like this.
That's good.
Elephant penis.
Yeah, it just came past. I was like, whoa.
God penis.
Yeah, whoa.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is why they make statues of them.
Yeah, I was like, where's it going? Where's it going?
Like I said, like the penis it's like a dream.
Yeah, it was like a dream.
Mm-hmm. And in
Yeah.
dreams, one thing can mean a whole lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of a dinosaur. I was like, is that a dinosaur's penis? But then I was like, do dinosaurs have penis? Whatever. It was weird. But it wasn't weird because I was happy about it. I was like, am I going to get to mount that? That was what happened.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Because I don't think I thought it was that big. Maybe I thought I was looking up at it. Because again, I wanted to suck dick. And then, yeah, that's what I mean when I said I don't really know where I was. Maybe that's it, like a dream. Like a dream. And at one point I thought you were done because I didn't know how long we were going to go. So I thought you were like, when you put your hand up, I thought it was over. So I opened my eyes and I was like, yay, you know? And then you did something. I was like, so then I was back in it. That shit. That was real. Like, I want to go back and watch this now because I was like, I felt that. And I'm like, oh, and because I wanted to kind of like, you know, your mind tells you, do I look stupid or something, you know? But nope, too bad, gone. Almost like I was sleeping, like hypnotized.
And that's good because what would have stopped other people, do I look stupid? She was able to process that in that moment.
Yeah, I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care.
A lot for somebody.
Yeah, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Didn't care. I don't care. I was like,
That's what I'm talking about.
woo, that's a good. Like, this is good. So, and then of course my body is getting really hot too, and my hands like this thing started like it's several things happening at once. So I feel like I would have felt it more powerful though if I wasn't as cold.
Absolutely.
I did feel that, but then I did have a thought though that the cold is doing a reset to my body because I could feel two things happening at once, like this. So I started getting a little wet. And I think that might have had like, yep, that happened. But my self-awareness was not letting that happen. So that did kick in. So, you know, I do have self-control, guys. Sorry.
I clap for that too.
Yeah, like no,
don't believe people that tell you need to be out here, you know, just extra free all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that. But you know, it does. Now we're having a private session. All right, then, because me and my masseuse were very close. I'll just put it like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't do happy endings. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my massage. Oh. Well, but you know, I'll just get in there, just get up in there, though. You know what I mean? Oh no, I mean, you know, but I'm not talking about happy endings. I'm just talking about. That's why I said don't let your mind go there. Yeah. But I didn't mean that. I just mean I'm not shy. You feel me? If you come for the massage, I get the nude. You know what I mean? And I get my massage. You know. Like, do the illegal move. I don't care. Just get my shit done. Illegal move. Yeah, you know, my titties hanging out. I don't care. Just get my back cracked, man. You know what I'm saying? But also, if I come for my, you know, tantric healing, and I'm supposed to bust, I'm a bust. Yeah. But I'm not busting on Too Raw for TV. That would be Too Raw for TV. But he working at something here, so I'm gonna get at. Yeah, if she just follow everything that she said, if she said that we came around and the energy kept building, it could lead to something. You know, a lot of people don't understand this is how we relate as people. They're missing out on all this is still happening for normal people out there. Like 2 crackheads at the gas station who meet, you know. They are still interacting like this energetically. They just don't have the knowledge of it. And they're wondering why they think something like that. They're trying to fight off their natural body response. Like, I can't get my dick hard. Like, you know, I can't just walk around. Why's my dick hard? I just met this person. I don't want them to think I'm creep. Blah, 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 blah. All this is happening. And the way you bust nuts is going to expand too. Like, yeah, you can have orgasms in every different part of your body, and you can have orgasms in different layers of your consciousness. And when you know shit starts expanding now, you know, if you only used it in the pussy and never had your eyeballs orgasm before, or your throat, or left cheek, right cheek, left titty, right titty. Every level gets you to experience more of yourself. And that's why I like this modality, because it's not all, they try to sell it on the sexual intercourse. But it is a culmination of everything. Like, I only have the words to explain it. I get it, because I do, because I see what you mean. Because like I've experienced a soldier when they had PTSD, and they would wake up and the whole bed was covered in like water. And I was like, what is that? Like, did you pee the bed? You know, and I felt bad. But anyway, they had an experience in an episode in the night, like a night terror. But like, if you think about it, that's like sexual energy. I don't want you study like, because you study, like, if you're really an occultist, you study all the occult people, right? Good, bad, in between, right? It's all research. And if you study like some of the more like scarier ones, they study a lot of magic that they do. It's all about will, and it's all about phallic symbols, and sexual energy is what they use to do magic. That's what you see, all these phallic symbols on the Masonic shit. But there's something to it, because that sexual energy is will. Like, will is very powerful. And so they transmute their sexual energy, and they use that to mind control and to influence. And so when you come to soldiers, they kind of use that manipulation tactic with them. And so that's like a similar energy center. So like, you know, when soldiers are having these, what they used to call PTSD, soldier story, right? That was like the original name of it. They're having these night terrors, and they wake up and they have these zones in their body that excrete water, are those places you're talking about. Like, because the whole bed is water. Wow. You know? So it's a similar thing.
Man. But you know, I want to talk about the ghost hunter. How you feeling?
I feel good.
That's what's up. So that was a successful session. See him live on TrueRoverTV.tv.
Pop too.
Mm-hmm. I do want to talk about that. Also, we're going to play this little clip real quick, and we're going to talk about ghosts out here in Georgia. So,
Yeah.
What you said was 148?
Yeah, 148.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem, lady.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being a good sport. And, my office is out in Stonecrest.
Oh, I love Stonecrest.
Mm-hmm.
I used to live
We were
in
just talking
Klondike.
about Stonecrest.
Klondike? Okay. I said, live off Wilson Chapel.
Oh, nice.
But, energy is going to keep expanding for about a couple days.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're laughing.
Yeah, I was just laughing at how quick that, you're sensitive to the energy. You responded to it. I was surprised. It's not rare. Just show it different ways, Like some people feel it and they keep denying it that they feel it,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why? I'm honest.
Probably feel the rejection, fear something else, feel. Yeah, but you get something, your money is thing.
Mm. I think about it. I will. I will. You have a lot of clients coming?
I don't advertise like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How would you though?
I don't know, as a man.
Like online and stuff? You make commercials?
I do word of mouth.
Okay. You should make a commercial though. No.
Let's say you invite all type of shit.
Yeah.
Versus, this is one person I really trust, and I just want to know if I introduce you to him.
Yeah.
But then you have a line of.
But so then, what kind of healing then will their people come for? Like, do they come? I know that you come for yourself, but like, do they come for like serious issues?
Oh yeah. Yep. And one lady, she had a hole in her heart, and after her session, she went back to the doctor because they were about to do surgery on it. And they said they couldn't find the hole in her heart anymore.
Wow.
But she still,
wow. That's
gives
amazing.
thanks to me for it.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Give people from cancer, STDs.
Wow.
Exorcisms, spiritual attachments, genetic curses.
Wow. Okay. So I know people that go. So you're the kind of person. I have a client where she said she had a barbell from someone doing spell work on her, like a barbell in her. You ever heard of that? That's what I said. I never heard of that. But she goes to a spiritual healer.
And she still has it?
Worker. No, she said she doesn't have it anymore. Okay. That's what she told me.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, but whatever works.
That's magic.
That's what I said. But she said that she got it out.
There's a lot that goes into that, though.
I wouldn't know. I feel like I don't discredit anything because, hey, only she would know, right? Mm-hmm. But I just never heard of it. So
the one thing you always got to look out and remind yourself when it comes to magic is that all of our indigenous people and old ancient civilizations had all the magic, right? Mm-hmm. Where they at? All the little Indian
annually. But
white
Lake Lanier's existence,
African nations, voodoo doctors,
Mhm.
things that people today on the spiritual community is trying to get back to,
Mm-hmm.
they were still wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
yeah, I'm about to play this.
Which is
let's start at the beginning. After the Civil War, slaves in the South were emancipated and granted citizenship through constitutional amendments. But by the turn of the 20th century, all Southern states disenfranchised blacks by passing laws to impede voter registration and voting. Georgia Democrats passed such a law in 1908, resulting in the disenfranchisement of all blacks in the state. In addition, the white-dominated Southern legislatures passed laws imposing racial segregation in public facilities, upholding Jim Crow laws. Now, most rural blacks worked as sharecroppers on white-owned land and were seldom able to get free from poverty. Before its completion in 1956, beneath Lake Lanier were several small towns, once occupied by farmers. One of the more well-known towns absorbed by the lake is Oscarville, although portions of old Oscarville, Georgia still live on the map. The original city survived through lore. Written and oral history did not give the other towns purchased by the state the same grace, and they remain unknown. Oscarville, located north of the perimeter in Forsyth County, began as a small rural town in 1870. After the rape and beating of May Crow, an 18-year-old white woman, on September 8, 1912, an angry mob was formed and began tormenting the black residents of Forsyth County, Georgia. Some reports stated that the beating was so brutal that her eye was dislodged from her skull. The local papers said that she was beaten and died of her injuries. After her death, on September 23rd, the angry mob began burning black-owned churches, houses, and businesses. The two black men who were accused of her death were tried and hung, all on the same day. The local media reported,
"The crowd swelled to over 5,000 spectators. They watched in satisfaction as the lifeless bodies of these two low-brow gorilla-like Negroes hung there, swinging in the Georgia breeze like laundry on a clothesline."
It has also been noted that the grandniece of May Crow, Debbie Vermaat, thought that her assailants were completely innocent based on her grandmother's account of the incident. 2 weeks prior, Ellen Grice, another white woman, was allegedly raped by a black man. An angry militia hung him without any due process, investigations, or proper trial. And many others have lost their lives far too many times for crimes they never committed. As the mob grew increasingly more violent, they ran off, chased down, and hunted the black residents of Oscarville, Georgia. Eventually, the entire black population of Oscarville and Forsyth County, roughly 1,100 residents, were driven out. To this very day, Forsyth County continues to be recognized as one of the most racist places in the United States. Following this racial cleansing, Lake Lanier, a man-made lake, was created. Lake Lanier was forced upon the land of those affluent, self-sufficient blacks. The Beaufort Dam was also created and flooded in order to cover up the hidden horror of the county's past. There seemed to be very little punishment for racial injustice in Forsyth County. The cover story state and local legislature and news sources sold to the public was that Lake Lanier was flooded to ensure that Georgia was always replenished with a strong water source and to support hydroelectric power for the city of Atlanta. Even in 1956, people continued to lie about the facts of this creative cover-up. White residents even went to the extreme of raising the level of the lake high enough to cover the trees. Later, they came around frequently during the process to cut off the tops of the trees. Some of the stumps from the trees are there even today.
This is African American History is American History.
To be clear, what happened in Oscarville wasn't a freak occurrence. Between the 1860s and the 1920s, white Americans drove thousands of black residents from their communities. Since then, many of these communities have remained almost exclusively white. For example, Pierce City, Missouri, 1901. The white residents lynched 3 black men and banished all 300 of the city's black residents. By the year 2000, the census reported that Pierce City had remained majority white. Out of a population of 1,385, only 3 were black. In 1905, the white residents of Harrison, Arkansas, tried to erase the vibrant, although poor, black community in their town with a race riot. The U.S. Census of 1900 revealed a black community in Harrison of 115 people out of 1,501 residents. Relations between the white and black communities were reported as relatively friendly and stable before the riots. Then came the St. Louis and North Arkansas Railroad, later to be named the Missouri and North Arkansas Railroad, which was built through Harrison in 1901. The residents were giddy with visions of prosperity, but on July 1st, 1905, the railroad went bankrupt. This was a hardship for the townsfolk and the black railroad workers who had moved to the area. The white residents needed someone to blame for their misfortune, and the black folks seemed like as good a scapegoat as any. An angry mob went on a rampage through Harrison's black community. Numbering about 30, they burned down homes, shot out windows, and ordered all African Americans to vacate the town that night. From 1910 to 1920, African Americans fled the brutality of the South and poured into northern industrial cities by the thousands during the Great Migration. They came to find work and later to fill labor shortages created by World War I. Even though they had moved to the North, African Americans continued to face exclusion and discrimination in employment, housing, as well as some segregation in schools and public accommodations. However, Northern black men faced fewer barriers to voting. As their numbers increased, their vote emerged as a crucial factor in elections. The war and migration bolstered a heightened self-confidence in African Americans that would manifest itself in what would be called the New Negro Movement of the 1920s. The NAACP was at the forefront of this movement and lobbied aggressively for a federal anti-lynching law. East St. Louis, Illinois, 1917. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. Rosewood, Florida, 1923. Washington, D.C., 1919. For decades, riots and massacres in all black communities, such as these and many others, were conveniently left out of the school textbooks. It wasn't until just this year that many white Tulsa, Oklahoma residents learned of the massacre in Greenwood and the destruction of what was once known as Black Wall Street. Since the Reconstruction era, angry whites fueled by resentment and race hatred have used violence to destroy the advances made by blacks. Let us never forget.
This has been African American History is American History. The episode you've been listening to, The Truth About Lake Lanier, was written and directed by Harlan Kearsley. That's me. Thank you for listening. And if you haven't done so yet, please like and subscribe. Now,
When you have a national identity versus a political identity.
Right.
So we're back on. So we're talking about drugs, sex, ghost, what's possessing Atlanta. So we talked about the drugs, we talked about the sex, we had a tantra demonstration you guys can only see exclusively on TwoRoberTV.tv. Now we're talking about the ghost, because Tim out here, he is a ghost hunter. He is ghost hunting. So we're talking about that, and we just saw a clip from Lake Lanier. So I want to get y'all's opinions or thoughts on that clip, because they just talked about, you can't talk about ghosts without talking about our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? And so they flooded that land. They talked about the racist history of Lake Lanier and Forsyth County. But what's y'all's thoughts on that?
Okay. Well, I do want to say, I am putting together a spirit hunting team of indigenous original people.
There you go.
Not ghost hunting yet, but we will be out there doing our version of it real soon, come 2025, with high-level spiritual people. But yeah, so like with Lake Lanier, one of the things that we always have to understand is that this racist white people that are trying to give us these stories about weird stuff that just so happens to happen around the end of the 1800s, and like Reconstruction and stuff. And they give us these half-baked stories about why that thing happened. Something tragic did happen. But when we get it from the story of so-called the colonizer, it's tainted a lot of times, because some of our ancestors and indigenous people put curses that kept them from even surviving in certain places. So Oscarville could be one of those places where it had affluent Black people that has been blessed a long time. It could have been an old ancient site that whenever white people came in there, they was taking their lives. And to this day, with the lake, we attribute it to the lake and them killing their people. But that curse or protection, ancestral connection, could have been there way before. And we can't get that history from white people because they can't tap into that.
Right.
But I heard about there's some ancient structures underneath the Lake Lanier, like giant steps and stuff, and old world structures. Because the story they give us is always, they're too weak to be doing all that. They're too weak to be doing all that. And they say it happened because of the beating and rape of a white lady. And I know these things happen out there, but knowing my experience in the Black community, is always more to it. And it's always something deeper, So that's what I think about Lake Lanier. But they're going to keep on dying. Just like they died in Superstition Mountains in Arizona. There things that they could have been. We've had protection in all these different places.
Yeah. Wow.
But I know you had a story about Lanier.
I mean, I believe the man who it's named after is an ancestor of a dear friend of mine that passed away, a Caucasian girl, and she is from Asheville, North Carolina. And she got in a bad car accident when she was 16, and she told me after that she survived it, but she said she knew she was going to die in a car. And then when she was 28, she passed away in Asheville in a car accident. And that was the first time she'd been back since that first car accident to Asheville, pretty much. So she never went back because she didn't want to, like, it's crazy, right? But so then in my mind, I felt like, dang, that bloodline. that
Fuck.
linear bloodline. That ain't, ain't got no good karma.
And that sucks, man.
Because she's a great person.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's her fault or anything.
8 generations down the line, it's like, oh, I didn't know Great Pop flooded the motherfucking town.
Yep. And she was in the car with her cousins and shit.
Wow. And we suffer a lot of this stuff all throughout, different bloodlines, different areas of the United States. So in different areas of Atlanta, I know you can drive through and feel the magic change in different parts. And everyone knows about the famous Martin Luther King Drive. But most people don't know that Martin Luther King Drive is a long. First of all MLK drives go through the hood and stuff like that. They really go. But here in Atlanta, it leads and ends, terminates at this place called Oakland Cemetery. So the end of Martin Luther King Drive is the entrance driveway into the cemetery.
That one on the west end? It's like in the middle of the city, kind of?
The one that's like off a boulevard.
It's like you drive alongside it? There's like
that's
big
one west end.
Oh, okay.
This one's in Boulevard. Yep, at the corner of Boulevard and Memorial Drive.
Okay.
And yep, it's old Masonic cemetery, and they have festivals and stuff in there too. But the way the city was set up is to transfer souls down that pathway.
That's why it says memorial. Yeah. And
you can assume that, but of course they say it's for armies and stuff like that. But it can't be no coincidence that the main MLK Drive that goes through the hoods and stuff leads right into the cemetery, and we got the culture that we have here. So there's a lot of ghosts and different entities that have been born throughout that here in Atlanta.
So when I first moved here, I've only been here a year and a half from Delaware. When I first moved here, I've been having nothing but supernatural occurrences. But when I moved to Avondale, that's where I've been for most of the time. And now it's Stone Mountain, but like literally 3 minutes away from where I was before, like right on the Avondale line. And as soon as I got here, I was thinking of that, Indian Creek Road. And right by the DeKalb County Jail. And I was thinking, okay, weren't the jails like, so historically, okay, so this woman I know a long time ago told me in Newark, New Jersey at this festival, this house music festival, she told me that if you research a lot of the jails and detention centers, they used to be all Black schools, like high schools and stuff. And so that stuck with me because I did, and they were. Like, they used to be like the location of them, and they were prominent, some of them. So I was thinking, wow, what else were they though, too, for that, And then you find out they were like the farm, and then you find out the farm is the plantation, So the jails, where you see the jails now, they were actually the plantation. And some of them, the biggest jails were like the biggest, most hardest, most scariest plantations. And when you see, I know, because being indigenous myself, my family are Carib natives. So we have my mom's family is from St. Kitts, and there's a point in St. Kitts called Bloody Point, where St. Kitts is where Christopher Columbus landed, and the Caribs are the natives that he fought, killed, and then they threw them over this one point in the beach called where the blood of the natives were red. The beach, the water was red for years. They call it Bloody Point, still there, right? So called Bloody Point. So I know about that. So as soon as I got here, right, and I saw Indian Creek, I was like, oh, y'all know what I mean, right? So that's where they throw the blood. That's why it's called Indian Creek.
Mm.
I know that. And then I found out Stone Mountain is like the most racist town in Georgia or some shit historically. Like that's where they marched the Confederacy or something like that. So it makes sense, right? Like, so, and then supernatural occurrences. I could never drive through Stone Mountain at first. It took me a while because I get the heebie-jeebies every time. I'll always see strange fruit because I'm psychic. So like, I would just see strange fruit in the trees. I hate the fucking trees in Stone Mountain, And in the morning, there's vultures everywhere. I don't know if y'all see the vultures in Stone Mountain everywhere. I'm like, God damn, y'all know why? It's just still strange fruit, like the spirits. And then another thing I see in Stone Mountain on nighttime, there's always when I'm walking, I see ghosts. We call them Duppy, right? Duppy them. So I see Duppy and I walk, and they recognize that I know them. So they're like, damn, when they see me. But I don't give a fuck about them. So they're like, and they're cold. It's real cold when you walk by. But you'll notice because it'll be like a girl walking, and it's like, why she look like 1992?
Go to the 90s.
And then it's still in Tucker. Tucker got a lot of activity. Yep, oh my God. Tucker got a whole lot there. And that quick trip over there in Mountain Industrial. And a couple times I seen the thing. I looking to see if anybody noticed, right? Like in the line at a gas station, the quick trip, and this lady in front of me, she has on a poodle skirt. And she's got her little bag and her hair's flipped, and she's like little. And I'm like, she ain't going to no like sock hop or nothing. Like, nah, the shit old. I said, wow, okay, that's a time traveler. And she's just like, nobody noticed. I said, wow, people need to wake up, You're noticing all kind of shit. Stone Mountain.
They want to ignore it.
I was seeing when we walk through portals, like glitches almost, right? And my kids and I'll see a bird. One time we seen a bird, and I'm telling you, I'm not a bird watcher, so if this bird exists, it could exist. But I never seen no fucking bird look like this before. No book or nothing. Like red like your beard and black mostly. Big wings. Like disappear straight at this traffic light in the middle of the road. Me and my daughter, what did you? Okay. We're just so used to it now. Like, shit went to another dimension. Swoop down like it was hunting something. And as soon as it get to the traffic light, disappeared. Thin air. Right over somebody's car. You would think people would stop and go, oh my God. Nope. Traffic just keep going. Nothing. Right on Memorial Drive. All by Stone Mountain. You see more things happen like where you're closer to like the mountain, closer that area. But yeah, I've been seeing all kinds of shit.
Mountains hold on to a lot.
I could keep going.
Ancestral energy, just because like first running water, rivers help electric charge that helps them to manifest a little bit more. And the mountains, are the source of most of those rivers and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of them, and a lot of people be possessed with. Oh yeah,
I got a good possession story. Okay, this is crazy. So we were at the stoplight right on Memorial Drive. Now we in the deeper in the Stone Mountain. Okay. This is what. So we're at the stop sign. This shit was crazy. That's why I gotta tell you this shit. So. You know how they be in the summertime asking for money at the stop on that, right? And they stand in the median. Okay, so this woman, it's where it was like The Walking Dead. Okay, like that. She coming out her mouth. She looked like one of them characters from Lovecraft Country with her like teeth hanging like them, and then two little girls with her hair like this, and she was just right that, and she was kind of like this too, like. Crazy to the point where I'm starting to like, oh my gosh, a zombie. She's a real life zombie, and nobody noticed. I'm looking at all the people sitting at their cars, and it felt like the light. Somebody said, light so long, y'all can fry chicken. Like the light would not change. So, okay, here she comes up to the car. So I'm looking at her, you better not come nowhere near my shit. She walked right past me. Okay, thank you. So then she goes to the guy behind me, a guy in a white van, like a Latino dude, right? So he's playing with her. He rolls his window down to give her money, and it goes like this. And she goes, and grabs it. He goes, oh shit, and grabs it. I'm like, okay, something ain't right. Mm-hmm. So then she walks around his thing, and then the next one comes up behind her. I'm like, okay, no, this is like The Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. It's a man. Nobody noticed. Everybody just like this. Nobody noticed. Like, y'all don't see this shit? But I know I'm not the only one because the people are rolling down. Some people roll down the window. So nobody rolled down the window. She goes around our car again. Again, she just goes around my thing like she don't see me. Mm-hmm. So my daughter's sitting next to me. I roll her window down. She goes, Mommy, what are you doing? Because the lady's next to her window. I said, no, you got to learn how to defend yourself, right? So, but the thing ain't come over to her. I said the thing though. And I was like, so it turns around like this to my daughter. And then she gets scared. And I was like, rebuke it. And I'm like, go back to hell. And she's like, ah! And she ran. She freaking ran. Mm-hmm. So she goes, listen. So then she runs over to his Porsche. It's a white man in a Porsche. But he had the back window down because he had a little Yorkie, okay? And Yorkie see that thing, like, went ape shit, okay? And it started barking at the dog, like real crazy. I keep saying it because it was possessed. You could tell it was a crackhead, but she was completely possessed. Like, you know what I mean? And then that's when the white man turned around and was like, oh my God. And then rolled his window up. But it's like they not noticing nothing. They didn't notice shit. But yeah, that's my possess. Mm-hmm.
That's real. It goes all around like that, man. Those the drugs, like we talked about earlier, mm-hmm. The carry on a lot more spirits and stuff. Mm-hmm. And if you keep having that stuff, emotion they can feed off of, and they just keep on saying that. Mm-hmm. I had one with me and my sister. My sister does the same thing I do too. Her mm-hmm. name's Adara Moselle.
And Adara, we'll have to get you onto Robert TV as well. We got a bill.
That's right. Me and Adara Palmetto go back way back. But me and her, we were downtown. We both worked downtown, and we were riding back home. This is right in front of the Federal Reserve Building on Marietta Street. We were at that light, and I was going to be turning right onto Marietta Street, and the Federal Reserve Building was right in front of me. I was in the passenger seat. She was driving, and right next to us was, of course, the sidewalk. Mm-hmm. A lady was walking towards us. So she was in a position where only me and my sister could see her. But when she got to the edge of the sidewalk and looked at us, like we were directly lined up with it, like we were blocking the walkway. So she had to look us in the face. So we looked at her, and she had, black sockets for eyes. Oh. Like it was, all this was black. Like, looking into a dark room black or a dark tunnel. And it was probably about this much. And me and my sister both seen it. It was an elderly black lady. Or so-called. But there's so many shape-shifting things out there and stuff too. But the fact that me and her were the only people that could see it at that time there.
Right. Child.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel it? But
I be knowing how that go.
Yeah, so it's a lot.
You just be like, ooh.
One of the houses that we were raised in was haunted.
Oh yeah. I had that.
Yeah, my mom, telling stories about how she actually found out it was haunted by a Christian TV show that you call in for. And she called in for something like that because she was having problems. The lady told her, she didn't call in about talking about being haunted or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. The lady told her to go outside and look for a certain talisman or something. But she found like a owl ornament or ritual piece that someone put in a tree to last people that lived there. And it created some type of octopus type of entity.
I know that one.
Yeah, it was a big one that sat on top of the house. And there's a couple that look like jellyfish and stuff like that. You know, they out here, and we're taught that there's most of them are ghosts or stuff like that. The ghosts are the least of our worries.
That's an alien.
There's plenty of aliens. There's plenty elemental spirits.
Yeah.
Like Stone Mountain has negative elemental spirits. And yeah, that's what's going on there. Like the West End has negative elemental spirits.
Oh, I be feeling them out there.
I'm
be seeing out there.
Like, yeah.
And my clients come and talk to me about that. One of them came and talked to me about that octopus.
Really? What did they say about it?
Well,
they were, you know.
Well, they were just, you know, they just told me about their experience and how they saw it, and that's it. Yeah, they were, you know, I just told them. That's why I tell people this is just a general statement. There's no need to fear, because if it were so powerful, why would it need to hide from you?
And why does that have to be here?
Right. And why isn't it why isn't it at home? You know what I mean? Why isn't it just like, you know, where you can see it and like, you know what I'm saying? All the time.
Yeah, but people don't take that time to think about it that simply. Like
why did it run from you?
Shadow people, like why are they always
right, exactly. And she's like, oh. So, you know, stop. Instead of you have one memory where, was it scared of you or because she kept saying, I don't want to remember. And I'm like, okay, but because my thing is, okay, let's run it back. No way, you know, because she was scared to tell me about it. But, you know, people can tell me anything. That's the beauty of being a tarot reader, right? So tell me, because I know what you want to tell me. And then like, what do you want to tell me? What do I want to tell you? So you want to tell me this? Like, oh, I've never told anybody that. I said, it's okay. Tell me the story. Yeah. Let's walk it back together. I'll hold your hand. That's what I do. I'm a hand holder. And then they tell me the story and they usually cry, you know? And I say, okay, it's all right. Now, think of it this way. Did you run from it or did it run from you? What do you mean? I said, where were you? Laying in my bed. Okay. And where was it? Above me. Okay. But then where was it? Gone. Okay. And then where were you? In my bed. Okay. So did you run from it or did it run from you? When it realized you were looking at it, what did it do? Oh. Because what were you doing? Screaming. Exactly. So what kind of force is that?
That's a good way to lead them into it.
Right. That's your force is still force. Like you might be scared, right? But that's power because you're about to jack some shit up. So that thing took the fuck off, right? Okay then. So what you have to be scared of?
Drugs, sex, ghosts. What's really possessing Atlanta? We went into all of that, got into the ghost, and it's happening right now, you know. So the planets are about to align just like they aligned last time, just like a cycle, you know. So we're accessing all of that stuff. You guys know about the planets aligning.
On 25th.
Yeah, see, there you go. Okay. And what was crazy is that the last time
of January,
the planets aligned. It was like the 2020, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
About everybody getting their superpowers, and I was like, I've been having my superpowers,
right?
Yeah. You know, but this is opportunity just to access it more. You know what I'm saying? So just tonight, going into tonight, because you know this is the 12/12 portal. You know what I'm saying? The 12/12 portal. So we're getting into that and the ghost and stuff like that. So I think we really broke it down to what's really possessing Atlanta. It's just this whole energy, you know what I'm saying? But but getting back into your natural self, getting back into that energy is what breaks the whole spell, but breaks the possession. You know what I'm saying? That breaks that any possession of any of these outside entities, you know, whether it be ghosts, paranormal, whether it be, you know, spirits, or sex or sexual addiction or anything like that, or drugs and drug addiction, you know, drug abuse, smoking on that za too much. Yeah. You crackhead. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. But also, yeah, just getting into our natural self and utilizing these things for what they are supposed to be utilized for, whether it be the ancestors, getting into your ancestor, calling your ancestors. They're not ghosts. They are here to protect you and help you and, you know, take you to that next level, whether it be sex and using sex for sexual alchemy, you know what I'm saying, using that energy to take your spiritual side to the next level, or drugs, whether you know, you're safely using the right enhancements, THC, to take you to that higher consciousness, you know, all of those can be utilized for your advancement, drugs, sex, and ghosts. So that's what we're saying on Two Robber TV. You guys, let them know where they can find you at again. Tell them who you are and let them know where they can find you at just one more time.
Vanessa Moon. You can find me on Instagram at Fantastic Vanessa with a V, and on YouTube at Vanessa Moon Tarot. You can find my music there too, Vanessa Moon.
Timothy Gibson. You can find me here in Atlanta on Instagram. It's Tim_BO.slice. And yeah, you probably go on there, get in contact with me, or send me an email at t.d.gibs@gmail.com if you want to get in touch or you have any questions, anything like that. And
yeah, tap in.
Also, we're located out in Stonecrest Mall. If you're in the Atlanta area, we have an office called Reiki Services where me and my sister, we operate out of, you know, if you want to stop by sometime.
That's too. Yep. And we got to do part 2 with your sister, man. We got to.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be fire. But so we're out here, man. Big time shout out to Master Yao, the Grand Trine, and all of that, you know, talking about it. Drugs, sex, and ghosts was really possessing Atlanta. Next week, we have Dr. Supreme Understanding. He's going to be out here. He wrote Black People Invented Everything, along with a lot of other hood classics and just great books, you know. So he's going to be on Two Robber TV. So I encourage everybody to spread the message, awaken others, and win the revolution within. It's Two Robber TV.
Peace.